Hi, wonderful people. Most welcome to Jerry Mario channel. And of course, my name is Jerry Mario. We hope that the stories that we will continue to bring, even as we seek to answer some of the questions you might be having about me, will be able to inspire and touch your life in a special way. So, allow me to divert just a little bit today, uh, and we do story time. So today I'll be giving you a story of my life because then you will continue to get to know more about me. And this story is supposed to encourage everyone out there that there is a season for everyone and there is a purpose to which God has called you. Therefore, whatever season you're going through, please be encouraged, okay? Yeah, I'll start by saying that when I was young, I always wanted to be an accountant. hmm And for those who know me, especially when I was in high school, I used to write all my books, all my papers, even exam papers, accountant Jerry Mario. And I just found them the other day and I was surprised. Wow, this is for real? Um, and true to that, when I finished high school, most of us who are a bit older, me laughing, saying a bit older, we used to stay for 2 years before joining university, unlike what is happening now, because then you have an opportunity to join university almost as immediately. So I spent my 2 years doing accounting at Kenya College of Accountancy. Thank you, Daddy, for giving me that opportunity. Because then I believed that I wanted to be an accountant. And things happened while there. And anyway, like life would have it, I was called by JAB to go to a different university. And therefore, I totally ended up doing a different course altogether. I tried changing my course a couple of times because then I believed that I needed to either do accounting or do economics. I found economics quite interesting. Uh, Probably it could be my love for numbers. I really don't have an idea. Uh, and so I finished campus. I started working, and along the way, I applied in a certain Sacco, and I was able to get a job. And therefore, it's like I was now starting to live a dream by the virtue that I wanted to be an accountant. And here we are. I got a job in a Sacco, as a clerk. Of course, there's always a place to begin. But unfortunately, I worked for a very short time and eventually ended up quitting working in that job. And I remember one of those times going on Sunday to church, and it was a missionary month. And Reverend Oginde was speaking about mission work and stuff, and therefore I quit work in a circle, believing that God had called me into ministry. And whatever happened after that was not funny. Guys, it wasn't funny. Because this was around September. Yes, I think it's around September. I don't have a good recall about it. Uh, and as God would have it, I had things that kept me busy up until December. And come January of the next year, I had applied so many jobs. Wow. nothing was coming through. Nothing. So January came and passed. There is nothing. Then, uh, towards the end of January, we went for a prayer and fasting with a friend, and we were praying for just 3 days to think and hear what God is calling me into. And for sure, it wasn't so clear. So I left the prayer mountain, knowing that God would still keep giving direction, because it doesn't mean because He didn't speak while I was at the prayer mountain that He won't continue to speak. And I really thank Him that He really kept whatever was going to happen to me in that particular period a secret, because I think I would have broken down. Then I started a series of a whole year, guys, a whole year with no job. And I remember I wrote a blog, joblessness, on my blog, because then I used to write a lot in the middle of the night, because I was like, God, this thing is breaking my heart, you know. I was living in a bed sitter that was paying for 5,500. But as God would have it, He opened an opportunity for me to volunteer in a place where ministry was being done, even though I was not doing ministry. But then they used to pay me between 6,000 and 7,200. So it used to be enough to pay my rent. And I was on and off, on and off. So there are times literally I would have a month end without even knowing what will happen. You know, it was difficult. It was really, really difficult. But I remember this was the time that I grew with God so much. We had quite an intimate relationship. And I started to ask Him, what do you have a plan? What's your plan, God? What exactly are you doing? And one of those days, I just remembered having an assurance that you are where you are, Jerry, because that's where I want you to be. The steps of the righteous are ordered by the Lord. So I have ordered your step, even amidst your confusion, even the fact that you resigned because you believed that I called you into ministry was my divine way of placing where I should have placed you. But I don't want to talk about my journey thereafter, but I just want to talk about this 1 year in about 4-5 months. That they were the most difficult time of my life. One of my friends, I won't share who again, because I didn't ask them, was having a wedding and I was part of their bridal team. I remember telling them, by the way, I am not able to be part of your wedding because I can't afford even to pay for the clothes. I mean, I have not had any extra money for a long time. So there was no way I was going to spend 4-5 thousand or even three for a wedding, because then where will it come from? I remember I even told them, please give me a role, and I promise you that I will be so committed to it, because I want to give my service to you, because I don't have money. And there are many lessons that God taught me that time, even to like that one, just to share with people that, you know what, I would love to support you, but at the moment I am not able to support you. Okay, so why am I sharing this story? I'm sharing this story for you. I understand the cost of living has gone so high. For you who doesn't have a job, there is a God who sustains. But even as God sustains, please remember to always be bold enough to say that you are not okay. All right, so that I think nowadays, then it wasn't as common. Nowadays it has become almost a norm, where people have bridal showers, baby showers, I don't know what else showers. There's a lot of contribution. There's wedding committees, as in you're required to give money right, left, and center. And the truth is, you don't even have that money to feed yourself, let alone to give. And you will lose friend, because I remember that year I lost many friends. They were not understanding, why am I not going to their function, why am I not giving in terms of money, because then I used to give just a few times when I am able to, but right now I was completely unable to do that. So for you who is jobless right now, always learn to speak. Okay, the other difficult thing that I went through was, there's a month, my goodness, not even 1 month, I think for a month and a half, that my gas ended. You know what happens when gases end. Luckily, where I was working, we were being given tea and lunch. So my gas ended in the middle of the month, and I knew I do not have money, because the money I had already paid my house with. Talk of a real struggle. So it's normal. Things, don't think that your situation is permanent. I think during that time, I am surprised because God gave me a lot of peace, a lot of joy. Of course, I became slimmer because I never used to eat dinner. I used to rely on the lunch that I was given. But I learned that nothing, absolutely nothing, is permanent. Then, wow, this one I will call a few friends, by the way, if I share with you this video and I ever invited you to that small house, please remember to share. This my house, yeah, this is my bed sitter, and it wasn't bad, it was good. It was just outside a drainage. So what used to happen is that when it rains, every other drainage from wherever you are calling it, let me not give it a good term of drainage, but rather I will call it sewage. It used to drain right there. And then, because our house was not lifted up, the water used to fill the house. One of the things I used to do is that I used to love hosting a lot. So there are times nobody predict when it would start raining. So I used to host people a lot, and I would tell them, by the way, when you're coming, don't come, please come with supper, or just don't come expecting that I will be able to feed you. Just come the way you are. If I have something to eat, we will eat. If I don't have something, that's okay. My house was open to anyone. And to be honest, there's no season I ever hosted so many people like that season. God had a way of ministering to me through those people. They thought I'm ministering to them by hosting them, but I think God was using them to actually minister to me, so that every time somebody would come, at least I knew some would buy, some would say, I will come with chipo, or I will do 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's not the gist of the story. The gist would be, let it start raining. Yeah, even the houses that are on ground floor would be filled with water, literally. I was living in second floor, so there was no water in my house. But let me tell you, for you to access that house in second floor, it would be tears. There are times I would, when it has rained, I would come out from the place where I was volunteering, just stand watching the water flow and just wondering, will this water ever end? There are times I would brace myself and walk into it. I mean, who will know? Tell me, who will know? When I am getting back to my house. Now the problem was, if it rained at night and now I need to get out of the house. It was chaotic. And that time, the story of sponsors was becoming very common. So there are people I would see, they were really doing well, and so you're like, God, if I had the freedom to do this sponsor thing, I would do it without thinking twice. Um, but I think that was never an option for me. So there are times then I started to cry to God in doubt and fear, and I started to ask him, God, did you really call me? Did you tell me to resign my job so that I come here and suffer? Or is it that you didn't call me, or I didn't get to hear you? Because I don't understand exactly what's happening. And to be honest, it was a tough path, but I learned how to develop a relationship with God. Towards the end of that year, as God would have planned it, I think my heart was ready to join ministry, to serve His people, but I was also ready to just be a vessel that God would use. So you might ask why I am telling this story. And I'm telling it to you, young person, or to you who is a little older, and probably because you lost a job and you're trying to survive and you're wondering, what has my life become? And I'm here to tell you that God has a plan for you. He has a plan for you, and He will use your difficult situations. He will use that which you think is a shame for His glory. For me, I look at that season. It was the season to date that I still miss and long, because I loved God and I had a lot of time. I didn't have time with friends, so I had a lot of time to pray, to read books, to be intimate with God. There are Saturdays I would go to the field, sleep there the whole day reading a book, because I knew I have no one's wedding to attend, because anyway I don't have money or fare, or I don't have anything that is bugging me. And so if you're there and going through the season, please take advantage of it and do whatever you can. Do whatever gives you joy. It may not seem like it's a season to find joy, but life waits for no one. Learn to enjoy life with much or with little, because when you appreciate your little, your much will definitely come. The other thing why I chose to do this episode is to remind especially the young people, there is no hurry in this life. Some will get job at 20 or at 25, and unfortunately they might lose it. You might stay for a couple of years before you get a job, and then who knows, God bless you and He accelerates your growth. So you need to know that God has called each one of us to a different path. If He has called you to get a job at 25, well and good, thank Him. If He calls you to get a job at 30, after you have struggled, I don't know for how long, trust me, it will be worth it. You will forget your years of misery. Am I saying that things will be easy? No. Am I saying that you will even ask who you are, or you don't even know who you are? Yes. But it's an important season where God has to grow you. Then the other thing I learned is Stop comparing your life with those of others. I had the privilege of working in that circle for a couple of weeks, and it was a promising job. But because God had a different call for me, then it meant that my life would be different. You know, my life would be totally different from someone else. So I learned in that season that it's okay. It's okay for me to celebrate my friends who are getting jobs. It's okay for me to celebrate my friends who are getting married. It's okay for me to celebrate people who are doing well in life and I am not, because it's their season and my season will one day come. All right? The other thing that I want to let you know is that most of the time you are either going through hardship, or you have just come from it, or you are probably walking right into it. So before you laugh at someone, before you think that you're any better, remember there are 3 seasons in life. You're either walking into issues and problems, or you're walking right through it, or if you're lucky, you're walking out of it. And you will have these 3 seasons at different times, and it's not guaranteed that they will cycle the same way. Sometimes you will get into problems, think that you're out of it, then you're back into it again. I mean, it's such, life is so unpredictable. The only thing that is true, guys, it's God. So where is your hope? Where is your trust? In your job, what if you lose it? In your family, what if they leave you? In your mom and dad, because they are doing well, what if one day, God forbid, things happen and they're not able to support you? What will happen? But I'm also here to encourage everyone, because I know this is a difficult season. A difficult season. Take advantage, especially when you are young, to do the things that, yes, they may not get you money, but they will give you connection, they will give you genuine friendship, they will give you time to grow and develop. And I love what Miles Monroe says: sometimes you need to isolate yourself to grow. Isolate while you develop your talents. Isolate when you're reading. Isolate. It's okay to isolate, especially when you have money. It's okay to leave Facebook. For me, one of the steps I did, actually, even though I had quite a big following and my blog was doing well, I think by that time it has over 10,000 views, I chose to close that life and to tell God, this is a season I want to focus on you. This is a season where I don't want to see my friends doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm here wondering what is happening to me. Am I normal? And because these are some of the issues that has made depression to be so severe, guys. You know, be optimistic about life. Have courage to quit. If God calls you to quit, have courage to quit, because you will enjoy what He will do for you. Later on, God gave me a place, and I can say it was a place where my heart was settled. It was a place where I felt, God, you know what? Wow. Even though I waited for some time, I think this was worth it, and I don't think I would have had the courage to obey you if you didn't take me through the path that you took me. Okay? So are you there as a young person? Is life difficult for you? Please know it's a season and it will be over. Please know it's a season. Don't be swayed. I had an opportunity to be swayed, to go and start having men who could sponsor me, but no. And I love the fact that there's no one who can credit where I am right now. not even my family. I can only credit it to God. So you want to be sponsored, and then let me tell you, utachapa character development. And you will regret why you did that in the first place. But how about your soul? Is it worth it if you gain the whole world and lose your soul? Is it really worth it? Think about it. Think about it. Lastly, please always reach out for help. Always. For me, probably, I don't know, because then I didn't feel like I had friends that would hold me. I was not able to reach out for friends. But God sent friends, new friends my way, who I was at that particular time hosting, not exactly knowing that they were almost like a refuge. Like we would spend nights laughing, sharing stories, and that is what helped me not to even get to depression, not to even think that my life was miserable. And I love the fact that people, some, even though they would come and we walk out of that water as smelly as it would be, they would still choose to come again and again. And I felt like, you know what? This this must be genuine people. God gave me genuine and wonderful people at that particular time that were able to help me just by speaking, just by having conversation. So are you there? Are you stuck? Please reach out. Please do reach out. I do regret that I went for a whole month and I didn't tell anyone about it, because I know someone would have helped. I didn't even tell my dad about it. There's even a time my Bible study friends, they came and brought some food, but then there was no gas. So you know what I ended up doing? You guessed right. I gave out the food because I didn't have the gas. But suppose I had asked for support for the gas, I would probably have had the gas and a little more food. So please remember to always ask for help. Okay? Yes. So I hope you have learned something in this episode. Sometimes it's difficult to share stories, especially when you remember the pain that you went through. But I am glad that I can share it and share it freely. And I hope that it will be able to minister to someone out there, whether you are a recent graduate, whether you are a person who finished school a long time, or whether you're doing something else, or things haven't really picked up and you feel like time has gone, or you're advancing in age. Please know that time and season belong to God, and when it's your time, He make things beautiful. Okay? Yes. So until next time, my name is Njeri Mario. Please remember to subscribe. I would love to hear your story. I hope that I'll be able to bring other people on board so that we can inspire one another, giving raw experiences and just some of the lessons that different people have been able to pick at different times of their lives. Okay? Please subscribe, and thank you for everyone that has subscribed. You can also share with your friends, and let's grow together. Finally, guys, I promise that this will be final. Just want to say thank you to Fashion for His Glory for the hood. Isn't it amazing, guys? It is. So this is a clothesline. I'm not sure whether to call it a cloth line, but a brand that sells hoods and t-shirts with Bible verse written on them. So if you want to have a t-shirt, if you want to have a hood, if you have a favorite Bible scripture that you would want to go, let's wear the word, let's preach the gospel wherever we go. All right? Yes, so yeah, run there and please just tell them that you got a recommendation from Jerry Mario. Okay? Sawa sawa. Bye.